Alie, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, fire away, dude.
What?
Fire away, dude.
Oh. Yes or no? Finding the right hair color for you, Alie, can be a challenge.
What color is my hair right now?
Burgundy.
Yeah, was that on purpose?
No.
Did I need to use E-Salon?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I fucked it up. Oh, wait. You can scratch that.
No, it's great. E-Salon offers professional grade, leave that in, completely personalized hair color that's created just for you and delivered right to your door. Alie, you fucking need this.
I need it so much. This is the last time I will color my hair without taking the steps to get the right color. I grabbed a color off the shelf. It was the wrong color. My hair is maroon now.
Don't do it. Alie, do you love questionnaires?
Yes.
Here's a hair questionnaire. Upload your photo and a personal colorist will formulate your individually blended color from over 15,000 pigments.
Oh my God.
I know.
I need E-Salon and a time machine to go back to yesterday.
Totally. Well, they've got you covered. There's 100% satisfaction guaranteed if you're not happy, Alie.
Oh God, I need
with
this.
Your color. It will give you a free reformulation or refund.
I think anything's better than what I did to myself before.
I mean, you look cute.
Thanks, dude. But you know what? I like that the color doesn't fade. Like they have the grays covered. Because I get some grays every once in a while.
I mean, at 23 years old, our gray is like pretending to start to come in.
I know. It's probably because we're such big thinkers.
We're so young.
So you can visit esalon.com/slumber party, all one word. And do that. You get 50% off your first order. So that's $10 for your personalized hair color, which is crazy because the last time I got my hair colored in a salon, it was like $180.
Dude, you can do it your freaking self. I've been doing it my freaking self for years and years.
Yeah, I really got the wrong color. So I need to use eSalon. You get 50% off your first box at esalon.com/slumber party. So go do that. Don't be an Alie Ward.
Send us photos too. Hashtag it at, I don't know, Alie in Georgia. Let's see your hair.
Yeah, just tag us in it on Instagram. Let's see your pictures.
Let's do it.
I want to look at your hair.
Bye. Listen, you shouldn't have to stretch your budget to buy jeans with a little give. High-end denim can cost hundreds of dollars, but bargain brands don't offer the same level of style and comfort.
Yeah. You can't get some jeans that cost you hundreds of dollars and like have to do a juice cleanse to get into them.
Totally. So Distilled, spelled DSTLD, they've revolutionized the fashion industry with their timeless luxury grade denim. So you get jeans that would normally cost you hundreds starting at just $65.
Yeah. They eliminate these crazy markups because they refuse to work with middlemen.
Refuse. They ship directly to you for free and guarantee the fit, or they'll send you a new pair until they're perfect. Distilled jeans are built to last and will be a staple in your closet for years.
They also have a bunch of fall jackets. So if you're like into a classic denim or you want like a bomber jacket, you can just expect the same level of quality.
Okay. And so for a discount, go to dstld.com/feral and you'll get $10 off your first order.
That's
d.com/feral for $10 off. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Feral Audio.
Slumber
Party
with Alie.
I think Georgia too.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
This is what this is.
Hi.
Hey. That was improv, you guys. That was all improv.
Yes, and it was amazing.
That's what two level ones at UCB and one at
4 years ago.
That's what that.
Hell
does.
yes. Georgia, welcome to Slumber Party.
Thank you, Alie. Welcome to Slumber Party.
I'm on my couch. It's too hot for the teepee, so we're just laying around on the floor
in pajamas.
Kind of.
Okay, we're gonna introduce
Daisy Duke.
Oh right.
But that makes them sound sexy.
But you fall asleep in your clothes.
I sleep in my clothes all the time.
So,
you know what my pajamas are? My contacts.
Oh God. That's
last time I took them out. It is. It's crunchy. It's like having cornflakes under your eyelids. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, I was reading a book.
Stop.
It's the
peeling
worst.
them off. That girl who went blind because she left them in for 3 months.
Well, who does that?
This girl.
Ugh.
Okay. Let's start with what we learned and then we'll introduce our guest.
What'd you learn?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. During World War I, in France, there was a soldier by the name of Lee Duncan. He had to go behind enemy lines and found a German army
dog kennel. And the only dogs that were alive were two German Shepherd puppies.
Oh, no.
And he took those puppies to raise them. He'd wanted to be an actor, but he decided instead he's going to make the dog one of the dogs and the actor instead. This dog was named Nanette. And that dog died.
Oh,
but
shit.
the other one survived. And its name, and he ended up naming this dog Rin Tin Tin.
Shut up.
And I learned this because I just read this book called Sunnyside by Glenn David Gould. That's all about, it takes place during World War I. Charlie Chaplin's a character in it. It's kind of historical fiction, which I love.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah. Good stuff. It's interesting, though, right? That was a big reveal. Like at the end, they were like, and the dog's name was Rin Tin Tin. And the names Nanette and Rin Tin Tin are these like good luck charm little dolls that the kids would give to the soldiers during World War I. Yeah, it's cute, huh?
What happened to Nanette? The untold story. She was a drug addict. She was the pressure. She went to too many auditions.
No, she never made it. Like they sailed across and she got pneumonia and died.
The puppy?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being on a boat with a puppy?
Yeah.
Do you just hold them over a bucket and they do their business?
Maybe.
Did they walk dogs on the Titanic?
Do their business.
I
think so. What'd you learn?
I learned something interesting that came out like last year, but it's news to me.
Okay.
When you remember something, you remember it. Like let's name a memory.
Okay.
It could be yesterday. It could be from your childhood.
Okay. I remember punching a girl in the arm after a soccer game.
I remember that story. You remember that. Each time you remember it as a facsimile of the last time you remembered it. So you don't remember the event. You remember how you remembered it last
time. Wow.
So memories are malleable in that way.
And yet we still put witnesses on the stand.
Sure we do. But it's okay because there's a Bible involved. And as long as they swear on it, no one's gonna fuck up. But that's what's
really interesting.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is that in terms of traumatic memories, they think that if they just sort of like a game of telephone, steer it, where it started out like got shot at by a crazy man with a gun. Like you just changed
the guy
it.
kissed you.
Yeah, it was actually a baguette. It was a gun made of baguettes, and then maybe you can remember it a little bit.
And then you guys
different.
made sandwiches, and it was delicious.
Fine. In the war, I made some sandwiches with this guy.
I want all my memories to end with sandwiches from now on. Like, all my memories are going to be, like, and then I had sandwiches, because I love sandwiches.
The plane crashed into...
Something of sandwiches.
A field of sandwiches. You're just going to be like the sandwich lady. Anyway, that's what I learned. I think that's interesting.
I got pantsed by a sandwich in 5th grade.
You got pantsed, and in your pants was a sandwich. You're like, hey, look at that.
Hey, everyone ate, and then everyone got to have lunch.
Open face panini.
Do we have a guest today?
I think we have one because there's a man in my living room.
There's a man in pajamas sitting in the middle of your
He's
living
wearing
room.
slippers.
Slippers too.
Let's ask him what he learned. His name is Ed Salazar.
He's
we
a
have known
comedian.
him for so long.
We've been knowing him forever. He's a comedian and a writer. He is helps produce The Meltdown.
You have
with
seen
Jonah
him in The Meltdown. He's also he also is typically on Thursday nights at the Comedy Palace in Los Feliz. His name, Ed Salazar, once again.
Salazar.
Hi, everyone. I've known you guys long enough that it used to be scary to go to house parties in Echo Park. That's like,
Yeah,
I
back when
drive
it was
by
still scary.
Georgia's old place, and I remember like a decade ago going to house parties back there and thinking like, can I leave my car in Echo Park? And now it's basically super rich kids walking.
Yeah.
Strollers
Brooklyn.
and hipsters.
Yeah.
So that's also scary that there have been house parties for 10 years.
Yeah,
I know.
When do people stop going to house parties?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, people start getting nicer and nicer houses, so they become dinner parties.
And they don't
pool
want to have a bunch
parties.
of people.
They become pool parties.
Pool
guys.
parties. Yeah.
What did you learn?
What'd you learn, Ed?
I learned, this was last night, I learned that the dancing style that Madonna eventually turned into a song called voguing was originally something that drag queens did as a way to insult each other.
What?
Yeah.
I love this.
Voguing, okay, so like the whole thing, so this is, but by the way, the movie Paris is Burning is on Netflix, and
It's incredible.
the moment this podcast is over, support whatever person is advertising on it, and then go watch it on Netflix. And the Paris is Building is a documentary about like mid to late 1980s drag queen culture in New York City, and that's where voguing started. And so, throwing shade started there. Throwing shade was basically inferring through a look that you thought someone was ugly or uncool or not funny or had bad taste. And then voguing became the dance version of throwing shade. And so you would do it at someone, and then they would do it back at you. And it's all really hard, like, lines.
It's almost like if you were at a breakdancing battle, but instead it's like walking down the runway, Shantae, twirl, throw shade. And there were competitions, like beauty pageant competitions.
Yeah. And they're like...
I have not seen this documentary yet, and I'm feeling like I should.
They can't make contact with each other, but they get really close. And so, like, part of it is also, like...
Vogue off.
Contorting your body and then looking at the just...
But it's these fabulous...
Melting. Oh, God, it's
gay
so good.
men. These beautiful black gay men.
What masters of nonverbal communication they are.
So good. Maybe what I learned actually this week was that I'm not gay, but I might be a drag queen. Like,
You should do that.
I mean, I would... We should do like a straight Vogue night.
It's the theater of gender.
Really,
you don't even want to be. You don't want to be transgender. You just want to dress up like a woman, sometimes, like a drag queen.
I just want the. I mean, you have to be so battle hardened by the time you're, like out as like trans or gay, that like the front that you have to put is like so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like to watch them walk through New York City in the 80s. And get called a name and then turn around and just basically like either entertain the people that they're being insulted by or do it to tear them down so quickly is like, it's amazing. They're basically like Don Rickles in heels all the time.
Don Rickles. Well, do you think maybe it's like a little bit how we live our lives too? And so you're identifying with them?
I think, I think we're all gay black men surviving HIV in New York City.
When it comes down to it.
We all have the same plight as them.
And what's your email that our listeners can direct their comments toward? That was Ed Salazar.
That's hilarious.
That's good to know. I always actually wonder, it's a good thing to think about, and I always kind of wonder if drag at some point is going to become, we've talked about this before, if it'll be, like when is it an homage to femininity and when is it mockery? I mean,
or when is it its own thing altogether? Has nothing to do with.
Well, it's always going to draw from feminine ideals and stuff. I mean, it's never going to not draw from feminine ideals. Like it crosses that gender line. But it is interesting that women can be made fun of by the very things that they're trying really hard to use to protect them.
Yeah, it's like a caricature of being a woman in a way. Like it's so heightened and insane. Like big hair, big lips, big nails. Like
at what point is that turned into like a Bob Hope in blackface? You know what I mean? Which, by the way, when Bob Hope died, there was like a tribute to him, and like they didn't include any of his stellar blackface work.
The good stuff.
Like,
come on,
my god! I mean, the good thing is that times are changing, just not fast enough.
They should. Can they? How they used to colorize black and white movies? Can they de-blackface a movie?
Oh,
maybe?
Probably no.
Just erase it from.
What do you think about he for she? Hashtag he for she, the men for feminism.
Oh, is that the
movement.
hashtag we're going with?
No.
He for she is what Emma Watson. She recently spoke as like a UN goodwill ambassador. She was talked about how, yo, men, hop on this train.
Yeah,
don't be dicks.
It's not all. Yeah, being a feminist.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
Don't be pussies about this, guys.
Oh,
excuse me.
Can we swear? Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
You're not party, right?
We can swear, but you can't.
Oh,
but some men are like, listen, women, make your choices. I'm not going to date a feminist, so make your choices.
Those guys are all alone anyways, so who gives a shit? Those guys are like, I'm not going to date a feminist, then turns on World of Warcraft and cries. Who cares? Because here's the thing, like. This is the bottom line is that like it's interesting that we're in a slumber party situation because I had a lot of slumber parties growing up because I had sisters I had foster sisters, so they were the same age as me, so like their friends were like in school with me too, like my sister Katrina was exactly the same age as me, so like I had crushes on all her friends, but it wasn't like I was 9 and like trying to sneak into her slumber party, like we were all like the same age.
So they'd have to invite you too?
No, I mean, it would just be like
you were just lurking?
House,
yeah.
And I would just come up.
Drinking straight from the milk jug?
I gave a lot of back rubs. Like, because I didn't know. I didn't know how to, like, functionalize my, like, sexuality to them. Like, how to,
Well, you're 9.
Well, no. We were like 10, 9, 10, like 7th grade.
I feel like you did know how, because I want a fucking back rub. That would work for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's enough.
Yeah, I feel like you knew better
That's
then.
enough.
What most guys know now.
That's enough.
in terms of transactional sexuality, a back rub is like, here's your change. Like, that's amazing. You did a great job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would, but I wouldn't kiss. I didn't know to like kiss them. You know what I mean? I did. I sucked on a girl's dad's dog tags that she was wearing one time.
There's so much wrong with that.
Loaded.
There's so much wrong with that.
I didn't know.
Was her dad deceased?
He was probably.
Whoa.
Oh,
Do you think they
no.
never were the same to her again after that?
No, I think she was really into it. Like we both were like, in retrospect, like kind of aroused by the whole situation. We were like, but we didn't know how to like progress it.
Yeah.
You know
How
what
old
I
were
mean?
you?
I was probably 12.
Remember the steps that were like, did you feel her up? Feeling her up was like a big
God, feeling
thing.
her up
Did
was
you get
such a
felt
big
up?
thing.
Did he go up your shirt? That's what they said a lot.
Up your
Did you
shirt.
go up your shirt?
Oh man, yeah.
Oh God! Even just thinking about that makes me nauseous.
Under the bra?
just like
Under
with
the bra.
anxiety, just like that. But you know what? It's funny because like those were the steps now, and now it's like, well, did he propose? Do you think he's going to propose? Are you guys going to get a house together? Are you going to have kids? When are the kids going to have? Are you going to Montessori school?
Do you guys have life insurance?
Is
Are
there a
you gonna have
shared
life
checking
insurance? Do you have a
account?
shared checking account?
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Do you guys
all
have a
of
vacation
that.
fund?
It's all of that, but it's now like boring grown-up
Yeah,
stuff.
your nipples don't even get hard.
Probably not.
Did a guy? You know, now I
Unless
think
you're-
about it. If a guy goes up a girl's shirt, like, does he know what to do at that point?
I mean,
What
I
do
don't
you
think dudes know what to do now. Like at this point, like I know so many women who complain about the abuse their breasts get during.
I think what it is like,
Ridiculous.
remember those game shows where they would put you in a plexiglass box full of money and you just grabbed what you can get? I think that having a hand up a shirt was the equivalent of that. You just
grabbing
grab
shit.
what you can
You're
get.
just
You're just
grabbing,
there.
like-
no matter what happens, it's going to be good.
Oh my God.
The
There's-
dollar bills
just
are easier to
grab.
get.
Just get it. Get
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you can get.
Don't.
It's also a stripper, kind of a stripper analogy as well.
Well, yeah, that's
you
maybe
know,
a little bit.
kind
I
of.
mean, how gross can we get on this podcast? Because
Let's not freak everyone out.
not freak everybody out, but yeah, but like I remember like the first guy I knew. This is a weird story. There was a girl who agreed. We didn't like understand that this is pre-porn really being available. We only have like snippets of how things work.
And you're from Nebraska,
I'm
right?
from a town of 6,000 people in Nebraska.
Wow.
So this one girl decides that she says, "I'm willing to have sex." It was like all
What?
very analytical. She's like, "This is 8th grade," and she goes, "I'm willing to have sex with this guy." They were, like.
Oh my God.
That was the situation. So we're like, well, we didn't have houses or apartments. We all lived in homes. Like our parents were generally around. There's a lot more like single income households in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. So we go behind the football field, and it's like,
And you're all like helping this guy get.
yeah, we're all 15. But it was like a mutual thing. Like we didn't know how it worked. We were Catholic school kids. And we were like, someone has to figure this out. And so we basically were like shooting someone off into space.
He's like taking one for the
Yeah.
team.
They were
Literally.
two monkeys being shot into orbit. But the other thing was that like we knew that we needed condoms. We didn't quite understand why.
Oh, no.
Well, to fill them up with water and throw them at your teacher.
Right. And-
That's what condoms. Is that what condoms
That's what
are
Dennis
for?
the Menace does
And
with
then,
it.
yeah.
Great.
And then God is so mad at you that no one gets pregnant.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, you just
Oh, God gets so mad at condoms. He hates condoms.
God
the
hates
most.
contraceptives.
Yeah.
Ed, what happened to this girl? Like in
Okay.
her life? No. I don't care about her having sex or not.
No. There's a whole nother step to this because like, so we had to get condoms. So we all had to. We're young. We had to chip in to pay to get 75 cents to go down to a vending machine that's at a gas station.
Oh my God.
Because we also had to find an excuse to get. We had to like buy something so we could use the bathroom so that we could get into the vending machine to buy one condom, and then take that back to the
Thank God sex isn't this complicated anymore.
the football field. I mean, really, that
Yeah,
gas
you can
station
just
is,
use like a plastic baggie or something. Or like
that gas station is
Just
the
kidding.
Tinder of Plastic Nebraska.
That was online dating. Is having to get changed to use.
I'm gonna say like they didn't actually end up doing it. And it never quite worked. Maybe because there was like 12 of us trying to watch through a bush, which is not great. But I don't think it worked out well for her. We came in on Monday, the next Monday, and like she and a priest, and she was like just crying to a priest the whole time. And,
Wait, I'm sorry. How old was she?
we were in 7th grade. How old is 7th grade? Like 12?
12 or 13.
Baby. I think it's
baby. It's don't have sex in a fucking field.
Right. I mean, but we did. That's the weird thing is that like when you don't even know what it like, I didn't know how sex really worked until I was probably 28. You know what I mean? Like you're like piecing it together and figuring things out up until
Yeah.
then
Did your parents have the talk with you?
no.
No
Funny
one did?
enough.
No talk.
No talk. One time, a note was found between two girls. This is like how repressed my upbringing was. There was a note that was discovered between two people by a teacher, and it was given to a nun, the most perfect person to talk about sex to you.
Right.
And the nun came in, and she was very angry, and she gave us this thing about like how sexual stuff is very sacrosanct, and we shouldn't be using filthy language. And the note literally said, "What is semen?"
Oh my God, that's so sad.
And we got yelled at. Like
She
everyone,
wants to know what semen
What
is.
is semen? Follow-up question. Why is your mom such a cum dumpster?
and why does my mom keep getting it all over her face?
Ew. That's really just a technical...
The semen is
science
not even
question.
like, it's not
Yeah.
even like gross.
She didn't say like what is. We
Semen.
didn't even know what the word jizz did not enter my vocabulary.
So, Ed, what is semen?
Well,
Oh Jesus, Alie, you haven't had the talk with Georgia yet.
no, I'm going to sit her down one of these days. I'm
guys,
waiting
what
for
talk?
her to get her period.
Good talk. Hey, Ed, Nebraska sounds haunted. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you seen a ghost?
I don't believe in ghosts. Was that which kind of kills this conversation? I guess I don't believe in ghosts, but I did when I was young. I remember the first time this whole podcast has made me think of Nebraska a lot. I'm sorry, but like I hope this doesn't hijack what you want to do. But
No, go.
I remember the first staying up all night. Did you guys ever do that? Like it was a big deal to not go to sleep.
I could
pull-
never make it.
You never could?
Do you guys remember those cafeos? They were these weird there were these coffee beverages.
Cafeo?
Yeah, I pulled some all-nighters writing papers in high school.
I just remember Jolt.
I like
having a Jolt.
I imagine that, but when you're saying that, I think you're older than in my head. You're like in third grade writing your essay about what you did for this summer, but you're like taking three cafeos.
I'm just like gluing macaroni on
Yeah, yeah.
construction
They're
paper,
like,
being
Alie,
like,
this
gun
was
finishes.
this wasn't even due until next week.
Till 5th grade.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was your all-nighter?
So we watched a horror movie. We watched probably like I think it was. I want to say it's Friday the 13th, either 2 or 3.
Scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Those are terrifying movies.
Yeah,
I
no.
still won't watch those.
Yeah.
Hell no.
And so of course we can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think this is 10 years old, and we're all like, we're not going to sleep. We're gonna stay up all night.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this, and like, some people are falling asleep, and we're like, no, we're gonna make it through. And then at one point, someone had like snuck out, and like Nebraska houses have basements, and there's like one of these sort of like storm windows, and the person just scraped on that storm window.
That's hilarious. I love them.
And like everyone ran into the bathroom and just locked the door, and that was it. We're like, this is Freddy Krueger.
Dead.
We're all dead. We all actually did fall asleep, and we're all dead.
I was once at a slumber party with a bunch of girlfriends, and when I was like probably 4th grade, and we were playing Truth or Dare, and we dared one of the girls to go out to the street. It was like the main street, but it was a small town, so it was not a lot of people. And she had to flash the next car coming by her like flat chest.
That's
and
a
she
super
did
dare.
it and ran back inside, and the guy, whoever was in the car, started circling the house honking. And like her parents were asleep.
Well, what do
Which
you
is
think he was
insane.
doing?
I don't know. It could have just been like a parent being like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
But like now that I think back, if my kid did that, I would punch them in the face. You're allowed to punch your kids in the face, right? I would just punch
You're
them
like,
in the
I don't want
face.
you to get sexually
don't
assaulted, so I'm going
spank
to
them.
break your
insane.
cheekbones.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I mean, the whole thing is
I
terrifying.
know.
We convinced a girl to lift up her dress for us when we were very young, and literally as that happened, her dad came around the corner, and we ran so fast. And what this all is about the fact that if you repress everything, kids are going to try to like find everything in the dumbest way possible.
Yeah.
Like we're basically stealing Playboys from people's garages and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's the fun stuff.
I just remembered when I was like 12 that a wrong number called once. It was like
Yeah.
a man, a grown
Uh-oh.
man, and then just started talking to me, and we talked on the phone for like an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
And he like knew I was a kid. and then I think he called back for me, and he wanted my address to send me something. And I remember being like, I probably shouldn't give it
What
to
did
you.
he talk to you about?
I don't know. I remember being like, this is inappropriate that this
He
older,
called the wrong number, you
like
called
not
the wrong-
older man, but like guy in his 20s was like flirting with me on the
Oh
phone.
my God.
Said it was a wrong number, and I just remember being like, this is. It was like a horror, like the first act of a horrible like Drew
totally.
Barrymore movie.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Or
Like I
made for
think.
TV
Or a good
movie.
Drew Barrymore movie.
Yeah.
Let's not judge. You know.
I wonder what his deal was.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm
have
lucky
you
that
seen
he
the movie
didn't
Happiness?
sneak in.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is a fucking creep who prank calls women and gets off on it.
No.
You should see it. It's
I think
gross.
that probably was a thing pre-message,
Yeah.
like chat
Chat
room. Like,
rooms?
that was basically what you got was like basically someone showing up in a chat room and going, "Are there any 13-year-old girls here?"
I like that we're like finding the root of it. Like we found the root of what's it called?
What?
You online date? The buying condoms in the bathroom is the root of
Tinder?
the origin story.
Ed, you online date?
Yeah, how's that going?
Oh.
Tell us about it.
Not. I mean, I've had a few girlfriends actually come out of OkCupid, and it's been good. I like the weird thing about it. I think I'm fed up with it because everyone now has gotten so jaded that at this point it's like you're constantly going into the worst job interview you've ever had. Like,
Well, yeah.
like you're like, whereas like think about how you've met most of the people that you've dated. It's usually drunk at a party. You know what I mean?
No, wait. When you say you're using first person. You're using second person singular.
Okay. Like,
Do you mean to use first person plural?
No,
Think
I
of
think-
how we.
how have you guys met
Yeah,
most of the people that
most
you
of the
dated?
guys drunk at a bar. Not drunk.
Not drunk, but drinking at a bar.
Drinking at a bar.
Drinking at a bar. Having a good
Yes,
time.
actually, all my all
wait
my
a minute.
relationships.
Let's crack this.
Shit.
Let's crack this.
The crack is that I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, like-minded individuals.
And the crack is that I can't
a trampy alcoholic.
talk to a guy unless I've had a drink because I'm.
Alie? you
I
met
met my last boyfriend. I was a fan of his work and messaged him like a creep, and then we ended up dating.
Online. Check.
That was online. One boyfriend I had, I was assigned to draw a portrait of him for a newspaper before I ever met him. So I stared at his face and like drew him, and then met him, and I was like, I have pre-fallen in love with you.
Do you think that you projected onto him before you
Yes.
like you were infatuated with the thing that your own art, and then so when you got in the relationship, if he didn't match that what your imagination of him was, it's not going to work out.
Like I was infatuated with the image that I had literally drawn of him.
And
Right.
you already his personality didn't matter because you were already like.
I was already sold. Yeah, I think that probably was both of those boyfriends. I was like, I'm pre in love with you, so pretty much this is gonna
Right, that's
gonna go well no matter what you do.
That's what's hard about online dating too, is that you have to like stalk someone and you already know all about them. I love meeting someone at a bar and being like, I don't know, we probably have friends in common just because that's
Yeah.
how fucking it works. But getting to know someone with zero knowledge of them is really fun.
I think I probably vet more. The process of vetting seems like it'll be a safe thing. You know what I mean? Like I've checked you out. Really, doesn't guarantee shit.
My standards are like way higher online than in real life.
Right.
Like my standards, I'll be like, I'll look at a picture of a girl and just basically extract everything that I can from that picture. Like,
Do you look at their tits?
their tits.
Their pictures? Do you look to see if
I'm
they got
not a
cleavage?
huge tit guy. Like honestly,
Are you you're not into huge tits, or you're not?
I'm
that-
not. I mean, I like all breasts. Like I'm kind of like I like breasts, but I don't
You're
have like a
pan-breastual.
size. Yeah.
What
like,
about nipple size? Like baloney nipples?
baloney nipples are cool. Hairy nipples I've been with.
Hairy nipples?
Inverted nipples I've been with.
nipples?
Yeah.
I'm still processing.
I've never
seen
seen inverted.
The hairy.
We had another. Who? Someone had inverted nipples on this podcast. Or no, Demorage.
Demorage
Demorage doesn't have, but he dated a girl that had Demorage nipples.
I can't imagine that being a problem. I mean, we see all kinds of D's.
The most
Yeah, we do
important
see a
thing
lot of
about
these.
this is okay. God, I feel like I'm making this really filthy. The
No,
most
we've
important
talked
We
thing,
just said that we've seen a lot of weird dicks.
the most important thing about breasts to me is that a woman likes her own breasts and enjoys them being touched. And it's like
Okay.
the real bummer is when you see I've been like one of the first girls I ever made out with who in college who had an eating disorder, and like as I'm taking off, and she was like beautiful, like like literally perfect body, like amazing body, and
Because she starved herself.
and I took off her bra. She had these voluptuous like Marilyn Monroe breasts, and I'm like 21 at this point, and literally like as I'm like getting to her breasts part of this whole thing, I'm like, it's like slot machine noises are going off in my head. I'm like, this is the greatest thing. I can't believe I won. And like as I take her bra off, like she just breaks out into tears.
Holy
crying.
shit!
And it was a real bummer. And it's like, and it's like you want to just tell her like, this is what you are is amazing. And
You can't convince someone to have confidence, though.
yeah, that's true.
Or have any kind of self-esteem.
I mean, women are so beautiful. It's crazy.
But we're brought up to not like. I feel like we're brought up to be like, oh no, I'm this, I'm not that. And we all whenever a girl compliments another girl, it's like, oh, this stupid thing, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, instead of being like, thank you, I like your.
We're going
Some interesting literature on this. I recommend our readers to read The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf.
Right.
It's sort of about why we are sold beauty as an ideal, because it keeps us buying a lot of shit. It keeps us spending money on clothes and nails and wrinkle cream and weight loss.
I'm literally this week I've done all of this.
But it's a great book, and it also talks about the display professions, women in professions where they're on display. And then you start to look and you're like, what's not a display? Like airline stewardess, receptionist, what we do, being on TV, those are display professions.
I have friends who their job is sitting in a plexiglass box at the Standard.
Yep.
So didn't one of those girls just wrote a book?
Yeah, I mean, oh really?
Yeah, one of the old Standard box girls wrote a book about it.
But growing up, I was the only minority in my town, and so like I was really racially dysmorphic, and I wanted to be white, and I know like I don't look like a minority, but in Nebraska, I was very brown for Nebraska, and I was really obsessed with Kevin from You Can't Do That on Television, and Buddy Lembeck, the guy who played BuddyLembeck, and
Charles in Charge.
Yeah, Charles in Charge.
Buddy,
the guy from Eight Is Enough. I always wanted blonde curly hair. Like,
wow.
I always wanted that sort of blonde. And the guy from Greatest American Hero.
Oh yeah.
Like I wanted that hair.
Weird.
Which is the opposite of my hair, which is kind of wavy, dark. And it's because we. I think it's more about like us being comfortable with ourselves.
Yeah.
But going back to breasts, they're great. Like all breasts are great.
Well, having gone from, I was that anorexic person who would like apologize for her body when I was with a dude and like be really like, I have this big scar on my stomach that I now don't even like think that I have it. I just don't think about it. But then I used to put, if I knew I was going on a date or something, I would put a Band-Aid over it because I would be so terrified that if they saw it, they would like throw up be like, this is
an
the
open
most
wound
disgusting.
is somehow grosser than the sealed scar.
Oh no, I don't have a scar.
Weird.
I just have a pussing open sore that I covered up. Sorry.
Yeah. Weird, right?
I mean, no offense, but it's just funny that it's
No,
like,
I agree. That didn't even cross my mind. You're right. But yeah, I was, but then I'm not like that anymore. But I get it. It's fucking, it's so, what am I trying to say? It just takes up, that's all you think about is how awful you are.
If there's one thing I think that like, that may be a positive of like sort of the ubiquity of like sexuality in our world and like pornography and self-made porn, and so like you can go online and watch really unattractive couples really enjoying sex with each other, and it's like watch that and be like, oh, like because like
is fug porn a thing where it's like real sex between real ugly people?
I mean I think it's just like if you go on like there's a Gone Wild section of like Reddit, which is all amateur stuff. And
Oh my goodness!
And it's
gracious.
like people who are just uploading photos, and then like people say nice things, and there's all subcategories where like petite or full figured or whatever, and so it's like people you can, no matter what you look like, someone's gonna find and give you positive support for like being naked on the internet, and which is
wow.
That sounds like a sales pitch for baby, let me take this. Like no matter what, you're gonna find positive. Well, actually,
guys,
this is you know what's interesting about you, Ed. You're a comedian. We've seen you
Hopefully.
do comedy all the time, so many times. You're on stage a lot, but you are one of the few buff comedians in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Everyone else is very doughy, and
Ed is ripped.
Yeah, Ed is ripped. Like, do you ever have like a weird? Do people throw shade on you because you're not doughy and pasty,
Or like skinny hipster?
I've had certain like I feel like sometimes there are certain comics who are like really like who throw shade, I guess, or whatever. Like, I think that it's sort of people default that I'm a jock, which is weird because my exercising is really based on the fact that I just got the shit kicked out of me so much. Like it all comes from like what happened was in 7th grade, someone gave me Henry Rollins spoken word and Rollins band CD. And and he talks about working out as like a way to like stop his dad from hitting him, basically.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, like I get that, like I get that rage. So that's why I started exercising, and now it's just a habit. But like it's like that's the level of like, because I would get beat up by like the nerds. Like the nerd would wait for me to get out of school.
Oh, no.
And then then all the jocks would watch him beat me up.
Right, because it put him over.
Right. Like I remember like being held down and being punched.
God, that's so scary.
While the cool kids watched the nerdy kid beat me up.
Oh, Ed.
That's such a weird primate system. Like, it's interesting when in terms of primates, like you need to establish sort of dominance in one area, and we're just a bunch of weird bald monkeys, and we're such dicks.
Yeah, and it's the idea that like, well, if I'm not on the lowest rung, I'm not.
I'll survive.
And it's like, yeah, but it's like the movie Snowpiercer.
Movie what?
Snowpiercer.
What is Snowpiercer?
I haven't
saw
seen
it?
that yet.
That's really good.
I know.
It's
Need a
just
movie night.
basically like it's a train that's the last living people, and then each car gradually gets lower and lower class till the back of the train is like just the worst people, and they revolt.
Oh my god!
But it's the idea that like as long as you're not the lowest person, you have someone to make fun of. Like everything's cool in your life.
Yeah, I still want to apologize to this kid in school, in elementary school, that like I got made fun of, teased mercilessly, pants, but yet I still made fun of this other kid that everyone, because it put me over, or it made me be a part of what everyone else was doing. Mm-hmm. It's like the only way I was able to.
What did you make fun of her for?
It was a dude. He was weird, and there. Like now that I know him, now that I'm older and have a clue about life, I'm like, oh, his mom was probably a hoarder, which is why he's like didn't ever wash his clothes, because his mom was probably a fucking alcoholic and his life sucked. And then he comes to school and everyone makes fun of him. That fucking sucks.
I was in high school. A couple people gave me the nickname Lucas based on.
Oh my god!
Lucas.
Oh, I love that movie
That
so
movie's
much.
so good.
Yeah, but it's not like a good sign for
No,
anyone.
I know.
Like,
I know, but I loved like the fact that he was so into bugs. It's probably
Yeah.
one of the
Oh, I
reasons
forgot
why
about
I'm
that.
so obsessed with bugs.
really?
Is I watched Lucas with the cicadas. My sister and I were able to just recite whole scenes. And
Wow.
wow.
I forgot
like an
about
M&M.
that. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's a great movie. And then there's a scene with dragonfly larvae in a jar that I still love. Dragonfly larvae, but they called you Lucas because you were like kind of like we're like a little disheveled.
I was
or-
like a weirdo, kind of disheveled. I had to drive, and to get to high school, I had to drive 45 minutes to the closest Catholic school.
Holy shit. Whoa.
Every morning, and school started at 7:30. So, and it's winter in Nebraska, so I often like slept in my clothes, and I would get up and like go and then ride to school, and I'd always be tired, and I'd always be disheveled, and I'm a weird person. Like I'm dyslexic, and I wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia, so like people thought I was just dumb, and I would just kind of like be like,
I feel so bad for people. Like I know a guy who, as an adult, his family sued his school district because he was severely dyslexic, and it turns out that they just did fucking nothing and put him in like stupid people classes.
How did you find out you were dyslexic?
I didn't find out until I was 36.
Wow.
There was a documentary on HBO, and
What's it
I
called?
had TiVoed for like months. I forget the name of it. If you go on HBO Go and write in dyslexia, it's there. But I was like, I had it TiVoed, and I was afraid to watch it for a long time. And then, I'm trying to be a writer, and I just got like tired of like people making fun of me, or like I post stuff on Facebook and people would say stuff about it, and
Just
like
things that were misspelled, or
yeah, like like everyone, like there's kind of like a thing of like people say like grammar Nazis or spelling
yeah.
Nazis or whatever, and I was like, I was forcing myself to do Twitter and Facebook more because as a comedian it's kind of important, but then I'm like getting like all this negative feedback, and so then finally I watched the show, and like literally the live how people describe, like the reason I gravitated towards improv and stand-up is because you don't have to write. You know what I mean?
And you are a smart person, so I feel like you'd remember that there's a comma here, or there's a fucking that punctuation goes this way, and your, and
I mean,
all
I
that
got
shit.
in a huge argument with one of my exes that you guys know. I won't say her name because it's just arguing, but like over its and its, and she was like, "Why can't you?" And also like this, if you're looking for like symptoms of people, if you want to look at like, is this person dyslexic? Like, you tend not to like use compound words. You tend not to use like can't. You use cannot because remembering the rules of putting words together is hard. So what happens like when you're writing dialogue in a script, it sounds very robotic because everyone's saying like it sounds like Data from Star Trek basically.
Were you relieved when you were diagnosed? Were you like, shit?
Yeah, I mean, it made a huge difference because, I mean, like all my report cards say like lazy and need to work more. Yeah, like everything was like need to put more effort, and it changes who you are. And I got a book. There's a really amazing book called The Gift of Dyslexia. The problem is, and I kind of like this is kind of like a thing where like if I ever get like a job where like it's seasonal or whatever, I want to do more work on it, which is like there's not really anything for adult diagnosed dyslexic. Everything is about like your kid's dyslexic because it literally is totally insane to people that you'd be 36 and like I went through college and graduated and with decent grades as a dyslexic. You
That's
know,
insane. Yeah,
I didn't even know. This is the first I'm hearing of this, and we go to barbecues together all the time.
well, I don't. If you notice, like I never use people's names. I never introduce people because names are really hard to remember. Like I lose names all the time. Names get swapped, like Mike and Brian. I could never keep those two names. They're the same name to me. They're two just white dudes.
Yeah, they're
wonder
both
if
basic bitch names.
I have an almost. It's too bad. It's too much. My problem with names,
Really?
and that I won't. I won't even. When a person introduces themselves, I don't even remember what their name
Yeah.
they just
That happens
told
a lot.
me.
That happens a lot, though. That tends to happen because when you're meeting someone, your brain is so focused
Yeah.
on how you are appearing to them, and if you're being
Yeah.
weird, that you're actually not paying attention to when they say their name because you're making sure that you're not doing something weird. And a lot of people lose names because they never got them in the first place.
Right.
So
Okay.
my trick of that is when someone's introducing themselves, I take their name when they say it out loud, and I picture it like a subtitle below them.
Oh,
As soon as they say it, because if you don't get it the first time, you'll never get it.
Yeah, Alie, you're incredible at remembering names.
It's literally because I picture it below them.
like it's their title.
Huh.
Yeah, and then whenever I see them, it comes up Kevin.
Wow.
But I remember I was meeting a boyfriend's family for the first time, and it was a huge party with 18 people around an enormous table, meeting his
God.
whole family the first time.
the subtitles got confusing.
Actually, I really liked this guy a couple years ago, so I was trying really hard, and I managed to pay attention. And they're like, Alie, do you remember anyone's names? And I went around the table and said every single person's
Holy
name.
shit.
And our waitress, who was named Trisha.
Holy
she prefers Trish. And it was like, I've never felt so on top of the world. Like, I think people thought that maybe I was an android, but I was like, trying so hard to remember everyone's
That is one of
names.
those things where I'm always like,
You have to
yeah,
put
Allie's
effort.
really good at it because it is really hard for me. And I'll even go see someone I know and I know their name, but I won't say it because I'm scared that I'm wrong.
I do that. That's exactly what I do. And if I walk into a party with somebody
Yeah.
where I know I'm supposed to know everyone and the other person doesn't, I now just tell people, I'm like, look, I'm dyslexic. I'm not going to remember people's names. I won't
Yeah.
introduce you. You have to instigate the introduction. I can't do it
You
for
know
you.
what my favorite party trick is if you can't remember how you know someone, because this happens a lot.
Yeah, yours is good too.
or if I don't remember their names, you're like, fuck, who is this? Or anywhere, you just go, how is work stuff? And everyone, so then they'll be like, oh, Denny's is cool. I've been there. And you're like, that's right.
Or
I know
you
them
can
from
say,
Denny's.
when was the last time I saw you?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh, we saw each other at Jenny's birthday. And you're like, oh, you're the sister of
you're the
so-
yeah.
But
if you
then what I would do that and someone would be like, we just saw each other yesterday. Well, also like I think like
I'm your mother.
what heightens it also, and not that I'm not famous, but I'm known by enough people in LA in the scene, in the comedy scene, and like I'm sure you guys run into this too, where now it's and actually like college was like this too, because I was always the person who talked during class, where it'd be like if I was in a class of 30 people, all 30 would remember me,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't remember any of them.
I have that. Instagram is like people are like, hey, hi, and like, you've never actually even met them. They just see your face all the time.
Oh yeah.
And like all you see is their food photos, and like their dog. You can totally recognize their dog because that's all their fucking feed is.
Yeah, you should get mad if their dog's not there.
I do.
You're like, you owe it to me. It's part of your brand.
Yeah.
No, it is definitely hard because we meet a lot more people now that we are in this in this industry or whatever, and it's
also, and this kind of goes back to like online dating, which is that like there's a false you kind of like have gaps in conversations in a way, like things don't happen organically. I was a huge fan of Todd Glass and Jimmy Dore's podcast. And I listened to it all the time when they used to do one together. And they would have what I thought was a bit where like they talked about like they would do something together and it wouldn't go right. They wouldn't be able to like build on it. And they're like, we need to take improv classes. Yeah, like sign up for UCB classes. And I was like, oh, like that's a bit that they're doing. And then I was in Portland at Bridgetown. We're all drinking and hanging out and stoned or whatever. And I barely knew them at the time, but in my mind, we've had this relationship because I'm listening to their podcast every week. And I said something at some point to Dore, like, and I went like, oh yeah, someone needs to take some improv classes. And he really got offended and hurt. And like I had to explain to his wife, I'm like, I forgot that like he doesn't know that I know this bit. Like he didn't know that like I know that this is a joke between those two trusting friends that have like a relationship
that you're part
I
of.
Just jumped in and was like,
you're part of that friendship now.
Like, yeah, it's just like you just jump in and you're like, right? You don't know how to do comedy properly. Like, guy that doesn't know me.
Well,
like,
I feel like a lot of times too, people will. This happens a lot. Is that a girl will say to me like that I've met somewhere at a show or whatever, and she's like, my best friend is this person, and we want to go on a double best friend date with you and Alie, and I'll be like, we actually don't go out to bars drinking them. Like Alie and I, like we hang out, but we don't like, hey, meet me at this bar and we'll go drink. It's like, it's not like that. But people think it is.
Yeah. I think it's funny. It's also funny it would also be funny to go on a best friend double date.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, are we collecting more pairs? I guess.
Yeah. And it's like, which ones
pairs.
do I talk to?
I
You
know.
two know each other really well, and we know each other really well. And so
what's interesting about, and I talked to Cameron Esposito about this because I used to go and feature for Marianne Sierk, who was my girlfriend at the time. Like she would headline and I would feature, and she told me before, she's like, women are going to come up to me after the show and they're going to be weird, like they're going to want to have sex with me or go shopping with me or something, but they won't know what it is. Because there's not that... Because when you get out of L.A., out of New York, and out of San Francisco, and you go to these other places, women are still, like, quiet and obsequious. You know what I mean? Like, it's still, like, you're still pushed down. So, like, there are probably women who, like, see what you guys are doing, like, riding Vespas through San Francisco and making macaroni and cheese and, like, drinks based on the Golden Gate Bridge, and they're like, holy... that's... And meanwhile, like, two kids are running around the back of their house, and they're seeing you, and they're going, like... That's what I want. So if they engage with you, like they want to be a part of your life, and they'll like come up and they'll be like, if you went to like when we would go do stand up in these small towns or whatever, and women would come up and be like, I mean, like they're just like, the really fun place to go for brunch, and like they would want us to go to brunch with them, and like, and we had a woman and a guy offer a foursome with us. And, like, it's like,
how was it?
I mean, like, they were just into, like, weirder shit than we were.
How many stars? Did you Yelp review it? 3 stars.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make the same mistake.
I'm cool. Light bondage, okay. Heavy bondage, not okay.
But wait, I remember there's this someone once showed me a classified, way back when and it was ass play a must. And I just, that line,
By a
ass
woman,
play is
man.
a must. I think it was a couple.
A must.
A must.
Ass play,
Non-negotiable ass play.
Yeah.
Whose ass are they talking about?
Who knows? All of them, maybe.
There just has to be ass play involved.
Ass play.
Maybe someone's just banging on them like bongos. What if that's ass play and they were really confused?
Or they're playing tic-tac-toe with using their asses.
Do you actually, speaking of bongos, do you have any hidden talents? Or bondage?
I mean, I do play guitar pretty terribly.
That's hidden.
It's not hidden.
That's more hidden.
Not hidden.
Than
I've heard it.
What else? Hidden talent that's weird. Oh, I'm really good with cars. Like I can work on cars. That's
Really?
Like, yeah, I mean, my dad was
That's what happens when you have shitty cars for a while. Trust me, I'm good at cars because I'm like, oh, my Honda's falling apart. But now you have a nice car.
Actually, well, like it's in the shop right now, but because the battery, I have to get the battery replaced on a Prius. But my dad was like a gearhead, and we always worked on cars. We never had nice cars. It was never like, let's go. We're fixing up this '57 Chevy. It was like, I have an '83 Pinto, and it's the middle of winter in Nebraska, and I need you to go pump the brakes for me to bleed the brake system. So I just like learned how to work on cars because he would just yell at me.
You're also a really good cook.
Oh yeah, shit! I have a lot of talent.
It's like surprisingly, and also very healthy. We used to have lost potlucks.
That's Jonah's fault that I became like a healthy
Really?
cook. Yeah, because Jonah would get like
Jonah Ray.
Jonah Ray of
Nerdist.
the meltdown and all that stuff. But like we were doing Lost Luck potlucks, and the game, like the level, the first week was like sandwiches, chips, soda, and then people started cooking things, and I'd be like, I'm roasting asparagus and broccoli, and like people were making guacamole from scratch, and then people were bringing so much food that we had to have like an extra table.
I remember that. I was like always like, what am I gonna? I think about it a week before because I wanted to fucking bring it.
People were like pushing.
I wanted to bring it and I wanted to blog about it, and so I would just fucking go.
Yeah, you were
it.
like a super bloggy back
was a
then.
blogger.
There's literally I remember at one point going like, what isn't blogged in George's
Nothing.
life?
Everything's blogged.
Like,
It's all blogged.
Well, this brings us to one of George's favorite questions, which is,
oh yeah.
all right, you're home alone.
yes.
No one's watching, or your people are asleep. You go in the kitchen and you get a midnight snack. It's shameful.
It's a
little
weird-
bit. It's weird, but you eat
It's
it.
the
you
comforting
love it.
thing that you love. Cream cheese on
Maybe
bologna.
nobody knows about it.
I mean, is it? Can I tell you the thing that I kind of invented
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
that came from like left? Like this is one of those things where you're
This is
like,
it.
you're like, you have an urge. You go. There's not enough of one thing to satisfy you. I had leftover the dark chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's. Like I had
Ugh,
4
those
of
are
those.
insane.
Okay.
And I had a microwave bag of corn.
A microwave bag of corn?
Popcorn.
Okay.
I thought you meant like.
Oh, no, not
Popcorn on the
Okay,
cob.
okay.
Yeah.
No, popcorn. So, like, I microwaved the popcorn. And then I was like, okay, I was high. And I
I like the disclaimer.
I microwaved the popcorn. And then I know it says not to open the popcorn immediately, but I put my shirt over my mouth so I wouldn't get the vapors. And I took that and then I shoved the peanut butter cups into the
love
the
this.
popcorn and just shook it up till the peanut butter cups
This is
melt
brilliant.
all over the popcorn, and then poured it into a bowl and let it cool for a little bit so that the chocolate can get hard again.
Ed, you should be stoned all the time. Yeah. Because that is the smartest thing I've ever. That's great, right?
Are you writing a book about it?
I would write a book about it.
I think I want to try that right now. Did
Yeah.
you do it subsequent times? Did you like? Were you like,
Yeah,
oh shit, this works?
There's a
Now it's your
video
thing.
somewhere of me and Jonathan Daniel Brown getting super high and doing this in his kitchen at some point.
How many times do you think you've made that?
I've done it like 4 times now. But what's weird now is that it's sadder because like I actually have to go out and specifically buy the tiny. You know what I
How
mean?
many do you suggest that you put? 4 is a good number?
I think like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Also, the secret is that I've learned over doing it over time is that like make sure the peanut butter cups are out and at room temperature. Don't because I keep mine in my refrigerator. Get them out and let them kind of get to room temperature.
So
they
you
melt.
need to know that you're going to get high later and want to snack on this.
I mean, honestly, like
I
it's
think
responsible.
no drugs. Like I would do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would do that unaltered.
please if you
Mentally unaltered.
If we were sitting and we were right now like gonna watch a movie like The Craft or something, and
Like, for example.
yeah.
Like we're going to.
Look, we all used to watch The Craft.
Sure.
That's basically our wheelhouse is The Craft.
Yeah.
If
I
you're gonna
watched a
watch The
shit ton of
Craft
Craft.
and you and your friends are all chilling, and all of a sudden you pull out peanut butter cup popcorn, people are gonna love you. Don't worry about it.
I did do a surprise apples and honey for Rosh Hashanah for my Jewy friend, for
Ooh.
Lizzie. And
Elsie?
What?
Lizzie Cooperman?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Lizzie.
And it was Rosh Hashanah. Like, she just had to come by real quick. And I was like, fuck, I have an apple and I have some fucking honey. And I brought it out and she like flipped her lid and we said the fucking
Did
prayers.
it taste like nostalgia?
It tasted like my childhood. Apples and honey, dipped in honey. It's fucking crazy.
If you're going back, are we supposed to wrap up after that thing?
No.
By the way, potluck. I've done a lot of potlucks. Now I'm on a Game of Thrones potluck.
Oh yeah,
so
that looks incredible.
I should do a potluck book. Does Feral Audio have a literature section? Because I will do a
That's
potluck,
a good idea.
a potluck themed book. This is an easy potluck that will blow people's minds. Crackers, sort of like the unflavored, more thin crackers, dried apricots, goat cheese, honey. You slice the apricots in thin slices, a dollop of the goat cheese, apricot goes in that, and a small drizzle of honey.
That sounds incredible.
You plate that, and people you didn't cook anything. It literally
Yeah.
takes 5 minutes, but it feels like
it looks beautiful.
It might as well be a plate of tiny hamburgers at one of those fancy Hollywood parties we go to.
A fancy Hollywood party. Do you know, every time I have a glass of Chardonnay, I think, is this free?
I don't have to pay for a Chardonnay.
This isn't a plastic glass,
Yeah, anytime
right?
I have to pay for a white wine, I'm like, what? Because it's one of those things where every wedding
Art
you go to,
gallery.
you're like, I'll have a Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Art gallery openings, you have these
little plastic cup
of Charles Shaw.
Charles Shaw, white wine, and PBR.
And it's not cold. Neither are cold.
Oh no, and it's served by someone who's angry.
Who hates themselves.
What's been your worst job?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is. The job that I probably had the shortest was working for this refinance company
Oh God.
back right before the collapse, basically.
Gross.
That's sad, huh?
And in retrospect, here's the thing: when people think about the economic collapse and we should punish the people who caused it didn't get punished, and it's those people knew what they were doing. I worked at this company, so basically property values are going through the roof, so you could refinance your house for twice as much.
Right.
And so my job was to call people and be like, hey, do you own your house? If you own your house, you can refinance right now and pull equity out of it and use that to pay off your credit cards. Which is dumb because
then you have a fucking double mortgage or a mortgage.
Which is dumb because if you can never pay your credit cards off, you just don't have credit cards anymore. But if you can't pay your house off, you lose your house. Do you see what the problem is?
Yeah.
So the day that I decided, and it was a gross job, and the people who were in it was boiler room type people,
Yeah.
it was Wolf of Wall Street type
I worked
attitude.
in one of those for 3 days.
Yeah.
Walked out.
This guy, one of the guys came up to me, there's people who were waiting, this black family were waiting, and just normal middle class family.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this guy's my best customer. I've refinanced him 3 times. We refinance him. He goes to Vegas. He loses all the money, and then we refinance him again.
Holy shit.
And I was like, I can't be a part of this anymore.
He was there with his whole family?
Yeah, the whole family was there.
Oh, that poor family.
Oh God, that's the worst.
Oh,
So,
God. What if you pick the wrong husband and he fucking refinances your house and goes to Vegas and loses it all?
I don't know. This is why I don't have a husband yet. I'm afraid that they're going to refinance my
your
house.
apartment?
Yeah.
So
No, who knows though? Well, I mean, well, that's a whole separate
It's
topic
crazy.
of what if something seems promising and then
Yeah.
and then there's all kinds of problems underneath.
Well, speaking
that's
of
the fun of
jobs,
life.
though, is it?
Who knows if who has cancer? I mean, who knows?
Who knows who has
Whom knows whom has?
Yeah,
who knows whom has cancer?
That's the new game show. Whom knows whom has
Who knows
cancer?
who has cancer?
Who knows? Oh my god, we should do that. Where it's just oh, that guy's just really thin and bald,
Or does he have cancer?
I want to have
Ed,
a game show called Bump or Burrito, and you take a pregnant woman and then you put her next to a woman who's just had a burrito, and people have to guess which one is the pregnant
Ooh,
person.
this is
And the
good.
whole thing is fuck you, it's none of your business.
Not a baby bump.
That's the answer every time.
Ed, you now have an interesting job where you drive a Lyft.
yeah, is it? Yeah, I drive Lyft right now. It's
That's awesome. I want to hear about this.
it's kind of terrible. I hate it. I want another job, but
Okay.
that's fine. I
Flexible,
mean,
though?
but that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the reason I have it is because I'm doing other stuff, and but it functionalizes. But the part where you're meeting people is totally insane.
How
also
have you not found a baller girlfriend?
Yeah.
Picking someone up. She left her car at the shop.
I feel oddly professional about it. I guess.
Oddly professional.
Like you don't want to you don't want to get the wrong impression and creep a girl out. Yeah, that's true.
I've had a few. I definitely had a woman who like. I was dropping her off at 3 a.m. She had been drinking all night, but she wasn't like super sloshed. She was like fun drunk, you know. She had probably had some Chardonnays at something, you know what I mean? And
some spritzers.
She definitely did a double clutch on leaving my car.
What's that?
Like the thing where like you open the door and then you kind of flop back down and ask another question, and then you get back out of the car and then you kind of come back. You like
giving a lot of chances to
just giving me a lot of chances to lean over and like smooch because we'd already talked for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird if your Lyft driver is just like, hey, instead of fist bumps, I'm gonna put my mouth on yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel you up. I'm gonna go underneath your bra.
I'm gonna go up your shirt. How cute would it be if a couple met through Lyft or Uber?
There must be stories.
They do.
Of
like
that.
people do. My ex dated a guy off of
Really?
Can someone write a book called Sparks in the Rear View?
Oh my god!
But I guess if you're Lyft, you're in the front seat.
Yeah.
It's a totally separate book.
Fingered in the front seat, I think would be the book.
Oh yeah, you're in the front seat. I forgot about that.
I've had not many, but I've had a few gay men, and generally what happens is they'll be like, because I'm very cool with gay culture. Like,
you're wearing a tank top right now.
Yeah, I gravitate to it. I fully like. I went to a birthday party to Abby. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. If a gay man hits on me, I've always been very like comfortable with going like I'm straight. Everything's cool. Like, so like when a gay man, and also like I had sisters, so like. I know if there's a documentary about like a fashion designer, I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like Galliano, like I know what he did for fashion. Dolce and Gabbana, like I got it. Like Valentino, love him. Like Armani, okay, cool.
You're not masculine. You're not overly masculine.
I'm not overly masculine. I watched growing up. I watched everything of House of Style. Like so.
I love that show.
Oh please, Todd Oldham and. So, like, if someone gay gets in my car, it's like, and they want to talk about stuff that generally is not considered straight culture, like, I usually can roll with it and, like, have a good conversation. And so, like, what'll happen is, like, this will be a thing where they'll be like, they don't believe that I'm straight for a second. They'll be like, come on, you can't be straight. And then, like, I'll drop them off and they'll be like, you're straight, right? They'll be, like, really bummed about it. And it's like, and one guy was super hot. Like, he was, like, in good shape, beard, wore like he was definitely like if I was gay, he would have been like the type for me.
Was he an otter? Not a bear, not hairy and big, but just hairy and slim, like an otter.
He was muscular still. Okay. Like I feel like.
Do you think it'd be easier for you to get hook up if you were gay?
Oh yeah.
Do you, Alie?
What?
Think it'd be easier to hook up with you if you were gay?
If I liked women?
Yeah. I think it'd be really hard.
I'd have to
for women. I think it would be totally hard.
There's men everywhere, and all they want to do is bone. And then if I had to be like 1 out of 10,
hope that you're a lesbian
gay
too,
and you don't have a girlfriend.
That's what I've always thought about. Like, how do you know that woman at the bar is like looking at you because you have something in your teeth, or because you don't know?
I never assume ladies are hitting on me, but I'm.
Have you been hit on by lesbians before?
Sure, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of oblivious in general when anyone's hitting on me because I don't believe
been hit on by gay men. You, Georgia?
Yeah, but it was
couples. We get hit on by couples.
That's awesome.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not. I don't want to be a brooch on your dress. I'm not going to be an accessory in your boring marriage. I've been hit on by couples, and that's annoying.
People are like looking to. You're like the Mrs. Dash. You're the Mrs. Dash.
That's okay. Mrs. Dash is a new name for a woman who spices up. Who's just I'll be.
Oh my god.
I kind of like have this like flirtatious thing with a girl, and like then like out of nowhere she's like, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend. And then like another thing, like, oh, that's my girlfriend. And then she's like, oh, I'm poly. And I'm like, oh, like I don't know how that. I've
never heard that. You've heard that before?
What's that?
I'm poly.
Yeah. Poly's like becoming really popular now.
Yeah, I have a friend who's dating someone who's poly. And
I don't
what
know
does that mean?
I'm
for people who don't know, polyamorous.
She cheats on her and she's cool with it.
Polyamorous. Yeah, that's what it is. You know what? Lately, people are saying that they're not slutty. They're just sex positive, and it's like I'm sex positive too, but I don't have to fuck other people to prove it.
Here's the thing about, and I know that poly.
Am I sex negative?
That sounds super sex negative. Like you're like
I don't want to say
I'm sex positive. I'm sex positive, but I don't use my pussy for it.
It's just I feel like it's non-slut shaming.
I just want to say with the poly thing where he cheats on her and she's cool with it, she is not poly. So that's why people who are in polyamorous relationships will be like, no, there's boundaries, there's guidelines, it's not cheating because it's open, da 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 da. But in this,
if they're both poly, that's.
I mean, I've known a
something.
couple people who had who one of the.
Just one.
One wanted to be poly and the other didn't. And
Is it always?
And sometimes
it's
the other
girl, or the guy.
It's the guy.
Sometimes it's a girl, but
It's a girl.
but the thing is like both people have to be into it. And the people I've known, one was less into it, but was like, well, I guess I'd rather know than just have you do this when I'm not around.
But the other thing I'd rather have is not be in this relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, that's another.
I don't know how it would work because I'm not distinctly. I don't know if I've never tried to be in a polyamorous relationship, and so like the problem to me is like, okay, like we can try to date and you're poly, but the question is then like, how do I get to find? That means I have to find another woman who's poly for this thing to really be a benefit. Like I can't date you and then date a girl who's into monogamy. So it's like then all of a sudden it doesn't seem quite as advantageous.
Or even if it's
really
just
fluids.
If it's just a one night stand too, then it's also not fair to the person you're going home with. Because I mean, if you have a one night stand, you kind of are also like, this maybe could turn into something, and you're like, oh, you have a fucking girlfriend and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
poly
That
girlfriend.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God! If I hit it off with someone
Yeah.
and
Like, I would never
spent
have
all
a
night and then
one-night stand, yeah.
and then
But
like,
if you do,
and then they're like, oh no, I have a girlfriend. I would be very
Me too.
irritated.
Me too.
In general, but I don't know. I mean, it's just so difficult out there. Hey, speaking of intercourse, let's play Fuck That.
let's play fuck that.
Okay, Fuck That is a game that we play. It's two
We
things.
end the
It's one
show.
thing that you fucking love so much you would lay it down and just you would tenderly caress it and you would slow bone it. It could be anything. It could be a sandwich. It could be a show. It could be dusk. Another thing, fuck that you hate so much you want it to fuck right off the planet. Let's start with the thing that you hate.
Oh Jesus!
We'll end on a positive note.
Wait,
Yeah. Want us to go first?
you guys go first because
I'll go
this
first.
is going to take a little bit.
No, it's not. You're going to think of the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, the thing that I hate so much that I'm like, fuck that, is expensive yoga mats. I bought my first ever expensive yoga mat the other day. I have always bought like shitty Target ones, and they last a couple of months, and then I throw them away and get a new one. So I was like, I'm going to get a nice one. It fucking sucks.
Why?
Because it's like made of this material and it's supposed to be all like aerodynamic and shit, and it I can't do yoga on it. It's like it's too sticky, and it soaks up all this stuff too fast, so it's hard to clean, and it smells terrible, and it
Return
costs
that
me
shit.
$60.
Return it.
Return it.
Buy
Yeah.
everyone buy your yoga mats at fucking Marshalls and Ross.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I do.
$12.
I've had the same yoga mat for 10 years.
I know that I was doing that, like, but I'm gonna dedicate myself to this, and I deserve a nice yoga mat.
It has a
like the way
bamboo leaf silk
Right.
screened on it. It's got to be good.
exactly.
You should return it.
I'm gonna return it. So fuck that. Fuck you, Lululemon.
I'll tell you one thing I hate.
What?
Makes me real mad.
What?
Is iPhone chargers. Fuck you. Have I talked about this yet?
No.
Okay, 2 times in the last 3 weeks, I've had an iPhone charger where right at the base where the cord goes in, where the plug-in goes to the rest of the cord, that gets frayed and broken, and it happens all the time, and it's annoying, and one day your phone just stops charging when it has like 2%, and you're like, God damn it.
That hasn't happened to me yet.
And then if you go buy another charging cord like at a gas station, your phone will say, "I is not compatible with this device," and you're like, "Fuck you, iPhone."
do those not work?
Your phone will be like, "I don't know what this cord is," and you're like, "Fuck you, you do know what it is. It's just not an Apple cord." But if you go back to the Apple store with your frayed cord and you're like, "Listen, dude, this is 7 months old. They have to give you a new one."
Oh.
So bring your old one.
Good to know.
Don't just go in to buy a new
I
one.
mean, it costs Apple up to $1 to change.
Almost $1.
What do you hate, Ed?
Okay, this is tough, but I figure this kind of I'm here with some nice ladies. The thing that I hate the most is in advertising. Anytime a dude isn't able to watch a football game because of a girl. That's like, it makes me so
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
And because it's not only is it sexist, but it creates such the wrong vibe for men watching to not understand how to relate to women. Because the problem isn't that, like, here's what happens, I think. When you first meet a girl, you skip Sunday football and you go and you hang out and because you're in love and you're super into it.
Have brunch.
And then what happens is that, like, you get into a relationship and you're like, oh, I miss Sunday football. And because you've built this expectation of, like, brunch every Sunday that like now she expects it because you've told her that's what you want to do. And then you're supposed to then hate her for thinking that you want to do brunch, which is the thing that you've told her for the first year of your relationship that you want to do. So it's like it's a really terrible thing of like, not only is it shitty, but it's also like it teaches men that like what you're supposed to do at first to get a woman to love you is lie about what you want to do on your weekends, instead of like being like, I like to watch football on Sundays, and if she's not cool with it and she breaks up with you, great, that relationship ended. It was not meant to happen.
I like this. This is true. Yeah,
and it also says like that Madman TV show shit is still going on. Like the people who are creating ads are still people who are like dudes who are like, you know what, my wife hates when my socks smell. You know what, get an air freshener.
But these are all rich men who have these like housewives,
right?
Too.
You know what the problem is women are used in advertising as these tropes where they are at the same time parenting their partners as well as being the children of their partners.
Right.
So women are always in the passenger seat. They're always cargo in the car. But they're also parenting and making sure that like the father gets oatmeal along with the kids before they all leave the house, and she's still there, and it's 2014.
And she knows where his keys are, but he always forgets.
She's always walking into the room with pizza pockets for everybody.
Yeah,
It's
she's the man is.
what is this?
Well, I
world?
actually do that. I always walk in a room with pizza pockets for everyone.
But it's this weird thing where the man becomes the child as well as the parent, and the woman becomes the child as well as the parent. And really, you're supposed to be partners. But there's always a dynamic of like one's fucking up, and I get it. And like there was a car commercial where they keep doing jump cuts from. They're in different outfits. It's a whole family in a car, and they keep jumping into. They're dressed in their Christmas gear, and then they're in their snow gear, and then they're in their summer gear. And the woman is always riding shotgun. Like not once is she like, "Oh, I'll drive."
Yeah.
Like maybe my husband's like just had his eyes dilated.
Yeah.
Maybe he's reading the map. No, always, always. And do you remember Life? That game Life?
Yeah.
And you would have the car, and I remember as a kid playing it as kids. You would be driving around pink. You're a little pink person, and then you would get married, and then you would switch yourself to the passenger side. And I remember my sisters and I always being like, "Fuck, well, I guess we move over." And
You don't do grown-up shit anymore. You're a baby now.
You don't drive your own car in life because you picked up this tiny blue peg. And it's weird that these kinds of gender things are just imprinted, and it's still evolving so much.
Good
anyway,
point, Ed. This is a whole conversation.
This is a whole convo.
Yeah.
Georgia,
way to stir shit up.
what do you like, Georgia?
What do I love? I love the online clothing brand Dear Creatures. I wear them all the time. They are fucking darling and adorable, and you should go to dearcreatures.com and buy a dress.
DEAR.
DEAR. Dear Creatures.
Georgia, are you getting any dresses from
They
them?
are giving me 2 dresses. Thank you, Dear Creatures.
So the thing that she really likes is
But
Sure.
no, I have
Giving
spent.
her-
No.
she's
I have spent.
She
and I've
shouts
worn
them out a lot,
I shout them
and
out all the time. I
finally
wear them
they're-
on television all the time. I've bought so much shit from them. If you've watched our episode of Drunk History, the shirt, the cute little blouse I'm wearing is Drunk History.
Yeah, she shouts them out as though it were her boyfriend's company or something.
and I don't even know them.
And
but
then she's finally getting
And
a
I
dress from
emailed
it.
them and told them how much I love them and showed them pictures of me wearing it on TV. And they're like, "Let us give you some dresses." And I'm like,
That's
"Yes,
dope.
absolutely." So thanks, Dear Creatures.
Good to know.
Allie, what do you love?
One thing that I really, really love is this is basic, but I really, really love reading in bed, and I finally.
I was just thinking about this. Go ahead.
Well, it's the best fucking thing. Like
it is the most beautiful.
it's the best thing ever. It's nighttime.
Yes.
It's maybe like 10 o'clock. You've gotten to bed. Your bed is made.
Your face is
house is
washed.
clean. And you have a fucking book.
Yes.
Or an iPad with a book on it, and nowhere to be. And you don't have to be at a party. You're not screaming over music. You're not nodding.
The next thing is sleep. It's amazing.
You're just going to read this book until you're done reading the book, and then you're going to turn off the light. And it's the best.
It is one of the most
feelings.
It is beautiful. Ever. I was just thinking about it and how sad I feel for people who don't read and don't have that experience of like they just get into bed and go to sleep.
You're saying to our dyslexic guest.
Oh no! I don't mean don't know how to read.
Oh no!
Sorry, I just meant.
I read
Ed,
all
I
the
know
time.
you
By the
know
way,
how
I
to
just
read,
read
and I know
slower.
I know you read. We've talked about books.
Yeah.
Like I know you read.
You read.
I love Don DeLillo, guys.
Do you like reading in bed?
I like reading in bed. I have a Kindle, which is like the best thing.
Those look
'Cause
more
you-
like paper.
Because you can have the light that's built into it. So now I love it because like you can read in bed, and then you don't have to like turn a light switch off. You just
That's nice.
That's good to know.
It's really the Kindle. They're sending me some stuff. The Kindle paper is really great. Paperwhite.
Good to know.
I actually, there is the light that I put on when I go to read in bed. Like if I ever turn that on, it relaxes me immediately.
Isn't that funny?
It's so weird.
Your brain's like, oh, it's party time.
It's just such a beautiful experience.
I know, and it makes me feel bad because I love all of our friends, and I'm excited when they have birthday parties. I'm excited when they have show premieres. I'm excited when they have a show. But a lot of times, especially since we travel so much, I just want to be home reading. And I was dating someone who was like, he's like, you love going out and partying. And I was like, whoa. I love my friends and I love celebrating things, but I'm never like, who wants to party?
Yeah.
I love being at home with a book.
Yeah.
It is tough though, because we do know a lot of people and there's always something going on, and you have to deliberately say, I'm sorry, like I want to spend a couple nights
You gotta invest in on yourself.
Beautiful.
You run out of things to talk about.
Ed, what do you love?
Winter's coming, fall's coming.
It's good stuff.
And so I will tell you, this is